Wednesday is 12 p.m. Eastern. You know when your mind goes a complete, it just went, well, you know it happens to me. So I'll take that off the screen, and I'll switch my phone off as well. My phone, even if I put notifications off, has this habit of trying to butt in. Welcome to the replay. This is going to be an amazing show. We've decided. So today, hello, RJ.
Hey, how are you today, Stephen?
I'm good. Do you realize that today is October the 10th, and the temperature outside today is 70 degrees? In the
Wow.
UK, 23 centigrade, 70 degrees. We've not seen the like of this. Well, I can't remember it being this warm in October. Going out in shirt sleeves to walk into town. I mean, on Monday, you had your jumper on, you had a raincoat on, you know, and your gloves, just to over-egg the pudding. And it's changed totally since then. And we've got a hello from Brad.
Brad.
And Corinda has shared. And I was testing the guest bot earlier. And if you type guest, you're more than welcome to join us on camera. Right, this is Messenger Bots with RJ Redden and Stephen Healey. And essentially, it is about messenger bots, and it's about communication as well.
Yeah.
But we're going to start off with something which we're working on at the moment, and which will be, well, ready for Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And we have a title for it. Would you like to say the title for the first time ever, RJ?
Yes, bots for live streamers. Stephen and I are working on a Udemy course together. This kind of came from it's sort of the evolution of this show. We just decided let's take some of the greatest stuff we've presented and that people have really enjoyed and throw it in a course. There's going to be some templates available in the course. A lot of me and Stephen on camera. You know, it's going to be a great course, and this we're making it we're making it happen right now so that it will be available on Black Friday. And why is that, Stephen?
Right, the biggest day of the sales year for Udemy is the Black Friday sale. They promote it heavily everywhere. You won't be able to hide from a Udemy advert on Black Friday. And you will be able to buy Udemy courses at discount prices. If you're looking to study anything at all over the winter period, if you want to be sat there with your desktop or your iPhone or your iPad or your Android tablet, now Black Friday is the day to buy your courses. Yeah, because they are on deep discount, and you can buy courses for, well, I was going to say ridiculous money, but it's not ridiculous money. It's very cost effective, I think is the phrase we want to use. Very cost
Yes,
effective.
cost effective. I like that one.
So it's a good time for the course to launch. And I'm just glad that nobody spotted earlier my misspelling. Not only did I misspell live streamers, because we know we did, I did, but I I put Udemy curse instead of course. So that's going to be
We're starting off well today, Stephen.
I know that's going to be in the recording. And say hello to Catherine. That's definitely going to be in the recording. So the Udemy curse, well, it's not a curse of Udemy. Udemy could never be described as a curse. It's quite probably the best learning platform in the world. It's certainly the largest. And the thing is that it looks after, not only does it look after everybody who's taking a course on Udemy, but it also looks after all the instructors as well. And there are two groups on Facebook which are there solely to help us to get our course out should we need them. All are fonts of knowledge. Everybody, it's a bit like the live video arena. Everybody helps everybody else. And if you've got a question, if you want to put a graphic on your course, you want to ask the audience, then you can put the graphic into the course and into the group, and they will let you know how it looks. Right, now we know that you're all watching, so if you could say hello, that would be good. And we know there's a new feature, and we want to know if it's actually working. Facebook have released Facebook polls. I hope I said that correctly. I got pulled up on my accent the other day by Lottie.
Yeah.
Polls, Polls.
Like voting.
Voting, yes.
Not polling. No.
Not indeed. And hello to Corinda. If you're on, and hello to Barbara as well, wonderful. If you're on desktop, okay, and you look and you go full screen, if you look in the top right-hand corner, just above the picture of myself and RJ, you'll see a little button, a new one you've never seen before. And that is the opportunity for you to vote on 3 different questions. And we get to know the answers, and we'll tell you what the answers were at the end of the show. In fact, you get to know how the voting's going. So pick a question, vote on it, and then you will see how many people agree with you. And I think this is a great step forward, the polls.
Yeah?
Yeah. Right, okay. Why do they want to do that? Okay. All right. RJ and I are sat here now, and we would love to know who's got a messenger bot, wouldn't we? So
yeah,
we can put a poll together which says, do you have a messenger bot? And I've got 3 options, because that's the question that's up there, RJ. I've got 3 options, yes, no, and thinking about it. Yeah. So you could click the button, the poll button, which is top right of the screen, hopefully, and you can click on it and you can say yes, no, or thinking about it, and you'll see the results straight away. So that's one way. The other thing is, if you had a quiz and you've got a quiz, multiple choice quiz. So you've got 10 questions, each has 4 possible answers. You could run a quiz show.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I think that, all right, okay. And well, I told you, right, I'm going to put a rider in there. It's on its way. I love it how you can announce something. The only reason I announced it, and Catherine's saying it's not there. The only reason I announced it is that live with David on Monday, and it was there. Perhaps they're just testing this in Canada. Because they have done that before. They've gone with Canada, South Africa, and a third country, and they just roll it out in those countries to test it, which means
I've seen it. I've seen the option to set one up on my live streams. It's yeah, I've seen the option. It's right next to where you cross post when you set up your show. So I've seen the option. I've not used it. I used to use it way back when, before Be Live. I was live streaming on a platform called Crowdcast. I used the poll option, but it wasn't very popular. It didn't really, you know what I mean? It just kind of was extra work. It didn't really do too much. So I'm interested. I'm interested to, see what it does here. If people really join in on that, or, the things I would love to see people do different things with it. That'd be interesting.
It would. Yeah.
Yeah. So Facebook polls.
So I just raced off because I wanted to see it. Like, you can't see that something that's not there, can you? Because it's impossible to see something that's not there. But I can agree totally that takes me by surprise, because I was hoping that it would be there today. Oh, right. Okay. And I have a question from Corinda to pull me out of this. One question to ask RJ about bot. What are bad bots and what are good bots? That's an excellent question. RJ, over to you.
Well, bad bots are bots that spam you over and over again with information you don't want or need. Bad bots act like email. At least, spammy type email, right? And good bots engage you in a conversation. So, I mean, that's a real simple answer, Corinda, but that's a pretty big question. So.
True. I mean, it's one of those questions that you know a bad bot when you see it. And I can tell you a bad bot, about a story about a bad bot, but I can't name who created the bot.
That's okay. Nice. Tell us the story. Tell us the story about the bad one. You don't have to mention who created it.
No, I'm not. Right. Okay. When you go into a bot, you can type get started or press the get started button, and that sets everything in motion. And normally on a get started, when you press get started, you get a message from the person who created the bot saying, thank you for subscribing, and a list of things you can do, a list of options. Okay. And not until you actually reply to that second message does anything happen. And that's the way you and I, well, especially yourself, that's the way you build bots, because okay, that's the normal way. And we do the normal thing. We knew the good thing, good bots. But I subscribed to a bot and I just pressed the get started and I got a message come up. And then before I could do anything at all, I got 10 more messages, all timed to arrive one after another. Yeah. And they then said, the last thing was, you have just been watching the power of our bots, our ability to broadcast to anyone, anywhere. And I thought, well, no. And I typed the immortal word stop. And they got that bit right, because it did stop.
That's good.
Right. Let's go back to polls. I thought the poll was live now. And so that's an example of a bad bot, Corinda. And Catherine saying FB polls are not popular in general, like in groups. They're kind of a pain because they don't work all that great. I've got my fingers and toes crossed that they've got it right this time.
Yeah.
Because it's actually showing the live score as well. Anyway, we'll come to that. Once we get it, once it's revealed to everybody in the US and the UK, then we'll have a bot and we'll set a series of questions and we'll have a bot quiz to celebrate the fact that it's there. Right, okay. Welcome, Tamar. It's good to see you. A word of explanation, though. The lady on my left is RJ Redden. We are partners in doing this show. We're co-hosts. We're partners in creating a Udemy course. And we are, good friends. We are really good friends. Really,
we
are.
Good friends. Yes.
So this is a co-hosted show. And I'm not about to interview RJ yet. I will interview when we get the Udemy course out there, then you can interview me.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right, and Catherine's saying, and bad bots are pretending to be human are bad. We're going to come back to that one in a minute. And there is pending legislation. Well, we can take that now, can't we? Because I saw this the other day. Can you explain a little bit more about what's going on and why California should take this action?
Well, there are so a lot of people report bad bots to me, and one of the things that some people do is they you can attach a bot to any page that is not a personal profile. So you can start a page, and this is what the bad people are doing. You can start a page that is like a celebrity profile or a personality profile. You can put anyone's name or picture on there and pretend to be them. And it's misleading because, say, let me take a real life example for you that is kind of ridiculous, but I think this will help you understand. So if I decided tomorrow that I wanted to impersonate Stephen Healey, there are plenty of pictures of Stephen Healey online. And I could start a personality page. I could put Stephen's name on it. I could put Stephen's picture on it. I could attach a bot to that. And then I could get people to subscribe to it however way I do, which is, you can get people to subscribe by clicking links and doing all sorts of things. And then I could pretend to be Stephen. I could pretend to be a human being. I have seen a couple of these bots. They suck. They're bad. And there absolutely will be bad actors. You know what? Here's the thing. Legislation in California, love it. And I am absolutely certain that Facebook is going to ban these people as well. And it'll be a race to the finish as to who can get rid of these people quicker. Because I've seen people, like if I were pretending to be Steven, then I would say, oh, you know what? I recommend this. I recommend that you buy this thing by RJ Redden. It's really great. And you should buy it right now. And here's a sales link. And then I've seen people like start to abuse people because they're not buying whatever this person is recommending. And so anytime now, and this goes for everyone all the time on Facebook, you know, there are people that are pretending to be other people and weird stuff going on. Anytime you get a message from someone and the message does not sound like that person, the way that person talks or the way that person writes or something that they would say to do, you ignore that thing, you delete it, you disconnect, you get rid of it. Because I mean, I even got a couple messages over the weekend saying some weird series of instructions. Yeah, did you get this too?
I got one, which means that my friends are really internet savvy. Because I know people who got tens and well, lots of them, and basically it was an attempt to upset everybody, really, and that's the only thing it did, and to get people to act. And people did forward the message as they requested, and people did the safest thing. I mean, I got one. Do you know what I did? First thing I did?
Delete that thing?
Block. My stance was this: if you forwarded it, then you're not going to stop forwarding things like this. So I'm going to block you, and I can unblock you later. So that was the immediate reaction, the safest thing to do. Or snooze for 30 days. I love that facility. But it was. We are as a race, we are gullible, and people. The thing is, it's the timing. If somebody says that, because of all the hassle we've had with Facebook being hacked, everybody's security conscious now, which is a darn good thing.
Yeah.
Right? And people change the passwords more regularly. But if you get something like this, you think, well, it's not safe on here. So that's why I don't like it, because it gives people it's not good. That's all I'm saying. It's not good.
You know, I get what you're saying. It's not good. And people that just automatically forward things without thinking about them. That's like the people that responded to chainmail. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the exact same thing. And that's fine. And I understand that happens to people, including my friends. But yeah, at the same time, it's like, okay, I mean, you realize they're shutting Google Plus down.
I do.
For those of you who don't know, they are, and this is a little bit off the track of bots, but it's on the track of information security. They discovered something back in March where some information had been exposed. They decided not to report to anyone because it would hurt their reputation, and they closed the loophole and kept going. Well, I mean, it got discovered, and Google Plus has decided we're done. It's closing over the next 10 months. It's dead now, people. It's been a graveyard for a real long time. I've only been posting there because it ups your Google results, basically. But yeah, information security is not just a problem with Facebook. So for those of you who don't know, I went to grad school, and one of my degrees is management information systems, and you can bet that we had some information security classes, right? And so what I found out with, and the other degree is public administration. So I did quite a bit with information in the public sector type stuff, how that information is kept, how secure it is. Let me tell you this. Information security is not just a problem with Facebook. I love you, but if you really want to be secure, there's a cabin in the woods with your name on it.
It's the Wild West.
I know too much. I know too much about all of that stuff because of my schooling. But yeah, I mean, the biggest people, I'm all for more security measures. I think that Facebook is taking steps to do that. The government, hopefully, I don't know. They're so slow. The thing with governments and IT is IT moves at the speed of light, and government is designed to move at the speed of a worm crawling through molasses in January. And so that's problematic. So yeah, I mean, when people say, are you afraid of Facebook? I say, the minute that I don't trust that they're out for my best interests, I will let everybody know, shut my business down, and do something else. So
that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We're going to live long and prosper. I know this, right?
We're all going to be fine. This is fine.
Okay. Catherine's saying, oh yeah, and that happened to me right when I was switching to a new FBA. Yeah, timing wasn't good, Catherine, for your new account, because I checked and I thought, yes, I know what's happening here, and I know why you did it, because one family and one business. And so the logic behind it, I totally got. But you forgive me if I went to look first and then, but the timing was just it was unfortunate. And people fell into it so easily and took it as real, and they tap before they read it. Now this is a global problem, and this is a problem that does tie back to bots. I will try my best to tie this back to bots. People fell into it so easily; it looks real, and people tap before barely reading. I admit, I put my hand up. I don't read every word. I don't do it anymore. There's so much information out there that I actually skim read. Mm-hmm. So I read the first sentence and last sentence just to be sure, but I'll skim the rest of it. And the unfortunate consequence of that is that you might miss the nuance, or you might miss the actual point of what you're reading, never mind nuance. Right, this is where I'm going to bring it back to bots, which is why when you're actually designing bots and you're actually designing the message you're going to send out, the more concise it is, the easier to read it is, the more likely you are to get a response. If you write something wordy, which is magnificent and worthy of being published in a book, then I think it's just, well, your thoughts, RJ.
This is what it does boil down to. If you want people to, you actually do live in a cabin in the woods. That is fantastic, darling. Excellent. So if you want people, if you create a bot, you want people to read the messages. If you want to read the messages, be the opposite of every scammer and spammer out there. Be the opposite. And how you do that is you can write short, concise messages so that people get the point of what you're saying. Be trustable. Be a person who does what they say they're going to do. If you've got a 3-day mini course out there and you say, hey, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you one message over the next 3 days. Be transparent, be honest, be trustable, just like you would with you if you're sitting across from a human being. This stuff that annoys us, this stuff that makes people tap before they think. It was all over Facebook in the last election. It was all over the messages designed to get either side emotional and tap before you think. So, Facebook safety rules, right? We should, perhaps an episode on that someday. But Facebook safety rules. Think before you share. Is this going to be valuable? Who's this going to be valuable to? What can I do to? Is this going to increase somebody's life? That kind of a thing. And when writing bot messages, just know that you're going to send a lot less messages over time, but they'll be a lot more targeted because you're thinking about who you're sending this to. It isn't just, I'm going to blast my crowd right now. This is who in here is going to get value about what I'm about to say. To me, that's the magic of the bot, is that it is and can be used completely differently than all the other platforms out there. The magic of it is that you can really reach people. The people that are, scammers are easily found, easily rooted out, and easily you can block, delete, unsubscribe. There are about 7 ways to get out of a messenger marketing relationship, people. Use them all. And if anybody ever talks in a way that they wouldn't talk to you in person, that might not be what you think that it is. Get rid of it. That's what I have to say about that issue.
If in doubt. And Lynn is saying she would like to live in a cabin in the woods, because Catherine actually does live in a cabin in the woods. I'd like to vacation in a cabin in the woods. I go midway.
I'm going to say my parents in 1983 decided that it would be best for the family, me, my 2 sisters, and several friends of theirs, if we left civilization and drove in a 1950 school bus to Oregon and lived in the woods because the man was keeping us down. This is a true story. And we lived in the woods without anything but a bus to sleep in for a long period of time. So I don't vacation in the woods, but I do like the beach.
Oh, the beach is good too. The beach is good too. Definitely. Talking of which, just a quick advert to let you know, next Tuesday, of course, is I Live Here Day. And we do the show at 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. in the UK. I Live Here with Fons Chamberlain, the real Fons. And our guest is going to be broadcasting live from Turkey.
Oh, nice.
So, if you've never been to Turkey, now's your chance. At 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. in the UK, next Tuesday, will be a show live on I Live Here. And our guest is going to be Danny. And Danny will be showing us around where he happens to be staying on holiday in Turkey. And it's good of him to do that. He's actually on holiday. But I think that's absolutely brilliant. Right, okay, now, back to Lynn's asking, how did you feel about that, RJ, living in a bus?
It wasn't pleasant. I was 8. I really felt that this whole focus on nature was a bit much.
Right. And,
I did. I was 8. I wanted a television.
Oh, yeah. Catherine's saying she's working her way across country, and her next stop is the beach.
Nice.
And also back to bots. Thank you, Catherine. It's easier to unsub from a bot than it is to unsub from email marketing. Because you just type one word.
Yeah, and Facebook makes it intentionally very easy. Like unsubbing from email marketing, you'll hit the button, the unsubscribe link at the bottom, and then you've got to answer 7 questions. And then they're going to offer you to be on another email list, which might be better for you, really. I bought a product yesterday, and this was a new product that I was reviewing for chatbot purposes called Inboxer. And you can this was really interesting, Stephen. You can tell who gets chatbots and who doesn't. You can tell who gets what they're for and people who are just building software because they need, this is a new trend and they want to be on it, basically. And you can tell it all in the way they're selling it to you and the terms that they use. This was such an interesting experience, but I signed up for this thing because it's the first chatbot experience that I've heard of that will go onto different platforms.
Okay. Yeah.
So this one does Facebook and Twitter. I have absolutely no interest in Twitter, but I want to know what's happening there. And they had like a super big sale because it was their first launch week or whatever. But I'll tell you that the process was full of, it was 3 times where you bought the product and then they showed you an upgrade you could have that you could only have during this next 10 minutes. And then I'd push through that one and I know. And then they would have at the bottom, the thing was, I think one of them was get these 1-click install templates. These have been proven that they work. Well, sweetie, if your product is only 10 months old, how did you prove that they work? You use the 3 best friends say that they work, or what's happening? So the button was not a no thanks button. The button was no thanks. I'd rather build everything from scratch by myself. I don't need help. It was that whole sentence stretched across the bottom of the screen. And, and then I'd push through that and then, yet another offering. And then I'd push through that and, yet another offering. It was 3 separate offers before I actually got to the software. Wow. So when people are giving you a hard sell, you know how that feels inside. Mm-hmm. Like you're a transaction. So it was very interesting. I toured through the software when I finally got there. And the Twitter part isn't working. So.
Oh dear. That's what drew you in.
Well, it is what drew me in because I wanted to, I really do want to be able to build bots on many social networks. Yeah. I don't want to, because Facebook Messenger, number one, and we love, but there are people have approached me a ton of times about bots for Skype, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Right. So yeah. when people are spreading out to different platforms, I totally want to see what they're doing. And yeah, this was just, it was a little disappointing to say the truth, but yeah, how to be a good bot, act the opposite of all of those people who are using time pressure, who are using any other kind of, this thing's going to disappear in the next 10 minutes unless you act now. Avoid all of those things. Be honest with people, be transparent, be truthful, be concise. People don't have a year to read a wall of text anymore. They won't do it. Even if they love you, they won't do it. So yeah. Be the opposite. Be the coolness you want to see in the world.
Be human.
Be you.
Be you and be human. That goes in our bot saying, I think. We've got a list of bot sayings. We're going to troll back through all the episodes we've ever done and come up with some cool sayings to go on our Udemy course, which will be out by Black Friday. Right, Lynn is on point. Lynn's saying she's been cold calling businesses offering messenger bots. And one company had its answer phone on all afternoon. Good company to sell a message bot with appointment making creation.
I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't cold call. So I don't know, Lynn, but that might be great.
Well, the thing is, if they're not answering the phone, they're not answering the messages on Facebook or wherever they happen to be. I mean, maybe that's just a symptom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this is it. Messenger bots can become part of your immediate response. Facebook, on your Facebook page, tells you how efficient you are at responding to messages. It tells you, we can't see it, but you can see it on your page, how quickly you respond to messages. And we've spoken before about getting the badge, and well, it's a symbol you can take pride in, and you can show it on your page publicly if you so wish. But it is a situation where response does matter, and response, it's as easy to respond to a message as it is to go and make a cup of tea. In fact, you should respond to the message before you make the cup of tea, and then you'd have 100% response rate on Facebook, and Facebook would be happy with you.
Well, and there's something here too. If you do have a bot, do be careful about that, because sometimes people will just give you like a thumbs up or something, like a little emoji, or they'll just say the word thanks. Facebook likes it when you go back and answer. Facebook wants you to have the last word for that badge response time.
But you see, I'm a gentleman, and I always leave the last word to the lady. So that creates a problem.
It does create a problem culturally.
Half teasing. Yeah, I mean, we've talked to this before, and you don't need the 100% badge. All you do need to know is you've got a response rate which you're happy with, and that you are responding to people, because that's the way that you create a good impression. Okay, I'm not going to name names, never do, but when I was starting the live video hub, I sent out I cold called on many people who have Facebook pages who use BeLive.tv, and I've got to say, even now, 50% of the people who got a message from me have not replied, which I think is a waste. Why have a Facebook? Stop me, RJ. Stop me. Why have a Facebook page if you're not using it properly?
Well, you know, I think that a lot of marketing, the way that we're trained to do things, they push us toward broadcast, but they don't push us toward listen. They say pitch, get on as many social networks as you can, pitch as many times as you can, make people see that link 1,000 times. They do that. And the problem, there's a lot of problem with that. That means that we're not trained to listen. We're not trained to look at, oh, there's a message waiting in my inbox. I need to be available for that person. Phone ringing, that's different, but people don't call nearly as much as they used to call. So yeah, the key is being a good listener and being responsive with people, no matter how they're getting to you.
And that's basically why we love being part of this community, because this is the other side of the coin. We've talked about it, and we've said how we love our community, and John Spratt heard us. He knew about it before we said it. Hello, John. It is. We work within a fantastic community on live video and in messenger bots, and I just like to say thank you to everybody, really, because there is a fantastic positive side to everything that we get involved in. You're nodding.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I mean, we've got a great community. That's number one.
So shout out to Jason and to Barbara and to Catherine and to John and to everybody who's watching. If you'd like to comment, please do so. And if you see the poll where you are, because it might be showing in Canada, then there might be a poll on the page. If you can see it in Canada, let us know. I still think that we should get first go at it there. Yeah. Right, we haven't mentioned this in 5 minutes, so look out for Bots for Live Streamers, our Udemy course, which we're creating at this very moment, which will be released on Black Friday, and we'll be doing promotions in the run-up to that, and well, it's just going to be awesome.
Yeah,
it's just going to be awesome. We're going to have fun actually before we actually promote it, and when it goes live as well. And say hi to Fernando. I think this is what social media is good for. It's good for actually reaching out and getting your message out to people. And that's why I love messenger bots, because you can do that a conversation at a time. I mean, I must have around about 20 different conversations at a time. Now, they're not all about live video or be live in 5. They were just simply with people on Messenger. And I would have said, if you wind back 5-6 years, I would never message people on Facebook. I'm an email guy. And that's a great change that's taken place, hasn't it? We all used to be email people.
Email, when it was created, was so magical, and it was the very, very best thing for. It was the best vehicle for everything. Hey, Barbara, good to see you. It was best vehicle for everything, babies. Getting rolling with that thing, right? That was some amazing stuff. That you could now send a message to somebody at the click of a button. You didn't have to wait 3 days for the mail to come along. It was amazing. And because it was so amazing, people used it for everything. Everything. And then, of course, spammers got a hold of it. And now it's that place that our inboxes are not places that we go, that we look forward to going. It is, it's a place that we go to work when we have to go there. But I'd rather be a messenger, because people go there because they want to go there, that they look forward to going there.
They do. And it's 99% of what comes through Messenger is good things. And it's very easy to stop the 1%, which is bad. And we've got Brad with us, and Brad is saying, times are changing. The email still works in some industries. Chatbots are definitely the new email.
Yeah.
They
sure are. And some of the targeting that you can do is just so much better. So much more intuitive, I think, than, because you can build drip campaigns and you can target people with email too. But I think that the difference is email has always been on 78 platforms. You could be getting it in Apple Mail. You could be getting it in Gmail. You could be getting it in Thunderbird. Some people use that. I mean, there's so many places to get it. And there are so many people, so many platforms who send it, that it's impossible to keep bad things from happening. It's just impossible. And so that's, I mean, email does have some regulation to it, but there's not that much, because it's just housed in so many places down the block. There's so many moving parts that it's hard to keep control of it all. That's why, Facebook Messenger is something I've expended a lot of energy on and invested a lot of time in, is because there's somebody that owns that platform. There's somebody that hates spam as much as I do, guarding it. And so it is, for me, it's the new email. Absolutely. It does still work in some industries. Some people still prefer getting an email instead. But I do think that, that 5 years down the road, we might be looking at a very different playground. That's what it is.
That's true. Wouldn't it be good? It's just a what if. Okay. You're looking after several different pages. You may have several different pages of your own.
I do.
Each has got their own Facebook Messenger copy. And you have to go to each of the pages to actually see the messages. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Right. Here's the what if. What if there was an application that brought all those into one, so you've got one continuous stream in chronological order, reverse chronological order, and it says where it's come from. I'm just...
Like a unified inbox of some kind?
That describes it far better than I did. Right, okay. I just want to give you a heads up then, to keep out and look out for a piece of software called AdSoup. And AdSoup, you'll find it. I got in when AppSumo did a $49 deal. AdSoup is, as RJ just said, a unified inbox. And I'm tracking this at the moment, and I'll keep you informed of what's going on. It does bring all your different pages into one. Okay, and just take it off screen, come to Catherine. I hate that, Stephen. I hate having to check them because there's not a notification to my regular account. Well, that would be good, wouldn't it? There's an idea for Facebook that if you are an admin, you actually get a notification.
Sometimes people do, and sometimes people don't. They created that Pages app, which has a real strong rating of 3 out of 5. That the Pages app doesn't work as it should. I know other people who don't get notifications for their own page. I do, but it seems to be, it just, to me, I like looking through the ManyChat interface anyway for my bot, because I learn so much more about the person that I'm talking to. Facebook inbox doesn't give me that information.
Okay, right. I might switch to that. I might look at it too. Right, from Brad then. Do you have an entirely different bot persona for every Facebook page you have, or will ManyChat allow you to use the same bot on all pages?
That's an interesting question. So with that, if you have an entirely different audience on each page that you have, then an entirely different persona makes sense. But what a lot of people do, and a couple of my clients do this, they do have a couple of different main products that they work on. But what they do is they have one umbrella type account. So one bot account, because they have so much crossover in between the products. So for me, if you have a lot of crossover between the stuff that you sell, and when I say crossover, I mean audience members, obviously, people that are interested in both things or the 3 things that you sell, or somebody that comes in on one product and then you interest them in some of the other things that you do. If there's a lot of crossover in between your audience members, do one umbrella account and do one bot personality for it all, because otherwise, when you have to do 2 or 3 or 4 Facebook pages to absolutely different audiences, that's a lot to keep up with, darlings. You're going to end up unless you have a staff member doing this, you're going to neglect. You're going to accidentally neglect some of your audience there. So, I hope that answered your question, Brad. If it didn't, throw something else down in the comments. I hope that answered.
I got that.
You got that.
Okay. Yeah. Catherine's saying I don't use Pages because I'm only on desktop. What is the software that may handle that? And it was called Soup something. It was called AdSoup, which makes no. When these programmers choose names for their programs, you despair at times, don't you? I mean, Facebook is logical because we've seen the film. We know how they came up with the name. We understand that. Twitter and tweeting, that's logical. That's good. That goes together. AdSoup is a message integration system.
Yeah, like you would look at the name and think that it had something to do with ads.
Yeah, or cooking.
Yeah,
right.
Don't let technology people name their own stuff. It's not good.
And Brad saying he's got it, and thank you, RJ. Now, on to Catherine. I would also love to see new notifications for new member approvals. I've got a rush of messages through. It obviously got stuck. I'd love to see notifications for new member approvals for groups. I am in many groups, and it's all mixed in with my personal notifications. Yeah, Facebook are trying. I think we all agree on that. But there's the Facebook admins group, which is for group. If you're a member of that, then you can put a suggestion forward. Facebook are in there, and they do respond for it. So if you actually search out, it's simply titled, because Facebook are good at names, it's called the Facebook admins group, which does do what it says on the tin. And if you join that group, you'll be talking to a member of the Facebook staff. Yep. So if you've got any suggestions, join the group, and you do that. Facebook know whether you admin a group or not, so they will let you in. Easy. So you don't have to qualify. You just need to go along to the group and join it. You might be asked to answer 3 questions there. What do you think of that 3 questions thing? You know, when you join a new group and they got the ability to ask you 3 questions, good, bad, or I'm not sure on that one.
I find it nice. I like to get to know people a little bit before they join my group. I also will look at their profiles and stuff and all of that kind of stuff. And I think it's good. I think that the 3 questions, if people don't want to take the time to answer 3 short little questions, then they're probably not going to participate very much anyway. So if the 3 questions are keeping people out, it was probably going to be some dead weight anyway in your group.
Yeah.
So I think they're good, but I mean, I'm not an expert on groups or anything, but I think they're good.
I think they can be good and bad. They would be gooder, or should I say better, be betterer, if Facebook actually recorded the answers for you.
That would be nice,
when,
wouldn't it?
When you see the 3 questions on the screen, you see the person's 3 answers, and you think, that's good, okay, you can come in. But you forget it then. And we tried in the Believers group, when this first came out, we tried to keep a spreadsheet with everybody's answers in. Yeah. We failed because too many people joined the Believers group.
Yeah.
So, but if Facebook, if you are listening, then please could you record those answers so we can go back to them later. I mean, people are asked, you know, what type of broadcast you're doing. That's invaluable information.
Yeah.
If we could, to you and I on a live video hub, that would be gold. And right, okay. And Catherine's got the questions too, and they are great. It keeps out the people who automatically join groups. Well, yeah. Yes, you see a decrease in the people who join every group on the planet. I think there's a group, and the only people in that group are people who join groups, and they're having a competition. And every weekend they get together and say, right, how many groups have you joined this week? And there's a contest going on. So you're right there, Catherine. That's sort of the questions stop all that. Right, okay. Now then, when is your next show, Mom?
Next show is tomorrow. I am actually interviewing somebody who is part of a free course creation day that's happening on Saturday. This is it's a free thing. It's built by the people at Ultimate Course Formula, which I'm taking a course from them right now on how to build courses, because Stephen and I are doing some things, and then I'm doing some things on my own as well. So I'm interviewing a guy from Ultimate Course Formula and Thinkific are putting this course creation day on. So I'm interviewing one of the guys tomorrow, and I'm really excited about it. I think I was at a conference and these folks were there, and I talked to them about course creation and stuff like that. They just have loads of knowledge, and so that's going to be tomorrow, and then next week I've got some pretty cool topics as well. We're coming up on the end of the year, and people are getting kind of mentally bracing for the holidays. I know I am, and the end of the year and Q4 and stuff like that. So we're gonna have some topics that kind of have to do with that, and bots, and how to use them during a time when people are doing some different things. So I'm really excited about the next few weeks coming up.
And coming from the no way end of the year, I think this is the problem. We now have, we've had for the last month, we've had the Halloween kit in the shops for October 31st. Very soon, well, I've seen it, there are Christmas gifts around. And the thing is that now is the time to prepare everything that you're going to be using in the run up to Christmas. So it's nowhere the end of the year. And I put this yesterday that I'm looking forward to January because we're doing 5 days live again. But then I put a rider underneath which said, but there's still a lot to do this year. But you have to do it. You've got to sort of prepare now and be ready for when the season comes, because you've got obviously you've got Thanksgiving Day. You've also got an election coming. Yeah, and then you've got Christmas. Now, we don't have Thanksgiving, but we do have our leaving the EU, which we never talk about on bots because it's
way too political for us.
Way too political. We don't do that. It's our season to find out what's going to happen when we do. So we'll know in November. And of course, we're looking forward to Christmas as well and the New Year. Right. Okay. But we're still in October. Now, October the 15th is a very important day because it's BeLive TV's second birthday. Incredibly, we have been on BeLive.tv for 2 years come Monday, and there's a full day of Jeff Adams to look forward to. He's going to do one of his marathon broadcasts again, and he will be introducing the winners of the competition for best show, best male host, best female host, best comedy show, you name it. He's going to be introducing it, and you'll meet all the people. Now, I'm looking forward to this for one simple reason. When I looked at the list of people who've been nominated, I didn't recognize 80% of them. So I'm looking forward on Monday to actually meeting new people, and it's going to be a good day for everybody, and it's going to be an exciting week as well, as you'll find out as the week unveils itself. So keep your eyes on BeLive.tv next Monday. We've come to the end of the show again, RJ.
Whoa.
We have. That's just amazing. We will be back same time next week, of course, Wednesday at 12 p.m. We look forward to seeing you on our shows this week and next week. And message from Brad. And it's over to RJ, because I intro the show and we're equal opportunity as well as being co-host of the show. It's over to RJ to close the show.
All right, everybody. Well, we talked about a lot. We talked about good bots and bad bots. We talked about so many things. Ran through a lot of topics today. But we're always here. We're always here every Wednesday to talk about bots. Maybe next week we'll get into some of the changes ManyChat is making. I talked about that yesterday on my show, but I'd love for this audience to know too some of the options that they have. And yeah, do think about it. If you are, we're making Stephen and I making that course specifically for live streamers, specifically for, it's not just for people who use BeLive. It's obviously open to everybody who does live streaming, but we are making some things happen behind the scenes that will really supercharge your live streaming experience. So we did talk about cabins in the woods, so very good. So thank you for being here with us today. Our audience is best audience ever. And we'll see you next week. Back over to you, Stephen.
And it's goodbye from Wiltshire in the UK. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, everybody. Goodbye for now. Bye. And